Hi guys, it's Jacob from StringBuzz here, stringbuzzworld.org being a music journalism site, links it in the description down below. And we have a brand new discursive type topic for you today, and that's self-indulgence versus expression in music. I want to hear what you say in the comment section down below about this subject. I want to hear some of your points. This is meant to be like a conversation, if you would, or a debate or anything like that, and I want to hear what you say. So I'm going to refer to the original article as I usually do for these videos, so I hope you enjoy. So now, depending on whether you have performed as part of a group or project or not, you may have a different outlook than me on what self-indulgence is in music. It could also be dependent on what instrument or whether you sing in a band. For me, I typically play guitar, but I have dabbled on both piano and bass too in groups and in the studio. With that being said, what do I mean by self-indulgence, and why is it constantly battling against expression? Self-indulgence is different to expression. Expression gives a song character, personality, and insight into the performer's personal life, and it gives meaning to match the words being sang and or the notes being played. Self-indulgence is playing for your own benefit, dramatizing notes that don't necessarily match the themes that are being expressed, and obsessively complicating sections for no other reason than showing off or showcasing your capabilities as a musician or singer. Funnily enough, the two terms are used quite loosely and are firmly against each other, despite being a hairline away from directly replicating each other. Also, self-indulgence can lead to masterful moments that shock and awe audiences into silence for decades. So sometimes self-indulgence can be more important than expression. So before I dive even further, what examples do I cite as expression? Well, vocally, I would cite Queen's track Who Wants to Live Forever. Instrumentally, I would cite Black Sabbath's track Snowblind, and for fun, let's throw in a track like Heroes by David Bowie. Now, to balance things up, the three tracks I'd cite as self-indulgent would be Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, The Warning by Black Sabbath, and The Genie by David Bowie. So what separates these tracks? Well, in Queen's case, you have a heartfelt / personal insight into the thoughts of someone afraid of death and all the connotations that go along with that, against a technical marvel that tells a distinct narrative with lots of variation, atypical dramatization, and notes that fly around the scale. Both very different songs with different intentions, and both possess a degree of the other's standpoints, but both great tracks. Moving on to the Sabbath pairing, you have another track that is somewhat heartfelt, melodic, melancholy, and only uses what it needs in decoration, against a song that has minutes of excellent guitar solos that are technical, wondrous, and jaw-dropping. Basically, you have a basic but impactful metal track versus a technical metal track. Both, again, with different intentions, but for different purposes. Also, both tracks seem to balance self-indulgence and expression through strategically placed areas full of decoration. Lastly, we have Bowie's tracks. You have a track that is inspiring, uplifting, sang with raw emotion and character, against a track that is sloppily sang but fun, with quirky lyrics and a really lazy approach to making music. Both brilliant tracks, and again with different intentions and so on. So is it clear that self-indulgence has its place, but what happens when it goes wrong? In the late 80s and 90s, we were exposed to lots of very successful ballads, which were both successful commercially as well as critically. Ballads that are ingrained in pop culture and memory. Tracks like I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston, Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On, and even Michael Jackson's Earth Song. Again, all great tracks, but they inspire something that perhaps we had never even thought about before. The dilemma of what is over-singing and what is spot on. Now, soul music has been around for ages. It's the definition of expression, but as soul music has progressed, I feel that the self-indulgence has taken the place of the expression. The 80s and 90s spawned the 2000s full of oversang ballads that were more about showcasing the singer's capabilities rather than the message of the track. Expression became the songwriter's job, self-indulgence became the performer's job. We also started getting instrumental music that is technically magnificent, but very temporary, as it was often outdated very quickly by the next year's input, and yes, that did hurt me to say as a prog fan. Now, I don't want to point fingers, but heck, it's fun to. You're probably expecting me to, so let's point some fingers, shall we? So we had artists like Christina Aguilera emerge, who sure did have a great voice, and I still stand by that she had a great voice. But with the exception of one or two tracks, can you really remember anything she truly expressed or poured her heart out into? Like any tracks that aren't remembered for her just hitting crazy notes, and rather the message that she tried to portray in the tracks, other than say Hurt or a track like that. I mean, that's the only track that comes to my mind. You have acts now like Charlie Puth, who create very hollow songs that show off his falsetto rather than the lyrical themes, despite the lyrical themes quite often being quite somber. And now you have groups like Bon Iver, who decided to make an experiment and promote an ideology of having to be smart enough to understand understand their music, let alone enjoying their music, rather than continuing the great expressional form that they had begun to muster. For me, we are now living in an age where you're either one side or the other. You're either expressing yourself in a song or you're self-indulging, but never both at the same time, when they can work hand in hand. I mean, that's the whole point of, say, like a guitar solo or an instrumental solo. I review about 20 to 40 tracks a day, and I have to say maybe one or two of those tracks during that runtime are self-indulgent as well as expression-driven. And now that's a long way away from days of old. All in all, the point has probably been a touch muddled during this video, and I do understand that this is very much a subjective viewpoint. It depends on your situation and how you connect with the track when you think of expression and indulgence, but definitely something to think about when you're next listening to a track by your favourite artist. Is there a distinct melody there that does the theme justice, or is the singer just wailing at you trying to show how capable they are? I guess that's down to you, and if you like this video then please leave a like. Like I said, comment on this video as well because I want to hear your viewpoint. Subscribe to see more, and I'll see you around next time. Bye bye.